Hey there, this is G Bass, and I want to welcome you to another Rise of the 1% podcast. We're going to discover the tools and strategies and insights to dominate and get to the top 1% of your industry. I am G Bass. And on today's Rise of the 1% episode, I have in the studio, definitely, great guy doing some great things. And who I want to bring to the episode today is none other than Mr. Dwight Davis.
What's up? We in the house.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to have you on.
Okay.
Glad to have you on.
All right.
Yeah. Great stuff. So, Dwight, you can start out by just telling the audience where you from.
Okay, yeah. So I'm from the ATL, born and raised. You know, my parents, they both came from like little small towns and shit, South Georgia, a little town called Waverly Hall. That's where my mama was from. My daddy, he was from LaGrange. Then they moved up to East Point. From East Point, they moved over to, Atlanta proper. But it was like in the hood, hard hood, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm ATL, straight up, born and raised. Then after a little while, they moved over to the SWATs.
Okay.
Well, primarily most of where I grew up was in the SWATs.
Yep.
And
I was around.
yeah, and down south too. Like every summer I spent down there with my grandparents. Down there, that's why I'm so country and shit. So
Yeah.
that's what's up with that. But yeah, I'm from SWATs, baby.
Okay.
ATL South Side.
Yeah.
Went to Southwest High School. Went to Beecher Hill Elementary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So Beecher Hill Elementary, what part of Atlanta is that?
That's Southwest Atlanta. So, like off of Beecher Road, that area over there, that's where, Beecher Hills is, So it is, it's Southwest Atlanta proper.
Gotcha. Talk a little bit about the white, you coming up in elementary. How was that? Like elementary school coming up in Southwest Atlanta.
Man, elementary school was all kind of up a little bit when you kind of think about it and shit. Because, I was a little dude and everything. And, my mom, got one of them old school mamas from down south in the church and all that kind of stuff. They had us in church all the time, man, 3 days a week and shit. It was like that. And then she switched gears on us and, she changed her religion with me. Everything had to change. So then we kind of was like weird because, we didn't do what everybody else did. So that made elementary kind of up for a minute, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we ran into some little shit that every kid got to run into, a little bullying. I remember named Dirty Red stood on the hill, took my milk money and shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, 5 cents, man. My little brother, who was a brawler in the family, me and him used to walk home from school. Dirty Red said, hey, nigga, give me your goddamn milk money. I was like, oh, shit.
Wow. How many siblings you had?
Man, I got 4. It's like I got 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Okay.
And they hell.
Yeah.
So on the upland. So anyway, little, it was interesting. I don't have to say that, learned a lot and all that kind of shit. But every experience that every kid got to go through, it was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so Dirt Red, he took my milk money and my brother told on me. My daddy bust my ass properly. Told me tomorrow, you better have that goddamn milk money, nigga. Cause I work for that shit. Yeah, I don't give you no goddamn milk money for you to go let some little nigga take it from you. Yeah. If you don't have my milk money tomorrow when you come home from school, I'm gonna bust your ass again just the way our pops was. Oh man, he was like that, dude. So the next day, I went to school, the clock like hyper speed, right? Get out of school 3 o'clock. I'm looking at the clock, like that wide open, goddamn. I was hoping 3 o'clock didn't roll up so fast. But it did. Me and my brother go up the hill. That mother was Dirty Red. Hey, nigga, give me your goddamn milk money. I said, nah, Dirty Red, I gotta have my shit back.
Yeah.
He was like laughing and shit. And my brother was like, what you gonna do, nigga?
Yeah.
So I sized that shit up. Ass whooping from Pop. Or Dirty Red. Oh, you getting that ass whooped today.
Yeah.
Today you getting that ass whooped.
So you went that Dirty Red.
Man, I Dirty Red ass up 9 ways a month Sunday.
Yeah.
Took all that goddamn milk money home. And when I got home, me and my brother, we was skipping shit. By the time we got up on the street, Bob was sitting on the porch with that same goddamn limb he whooped my ass with the day before.
Yeah.
Nigga didn't say shit to me.
The day before.
The day before, dude, I had stripes and shit. Back then, it was all right for your ass to go to school with stripes.
Yeah.
They tease your ass. Oh, you got that ass beat,
Mm.
They could beat your ass back in the day, and they did.
Yeah.
And so we was waiting on the pull that damn limb and shit. I saw that like, God damn. I ain't even know, is this shit finna go again like it did yesterday?
Mm.
But he didn't say shit. I walked up to him, he stuck a hand out. I pulled all that goddamn money Dirty Red had into his hand. He said, all right, nigga, don't let this shit happen no more. Around here, we ain't raising no pucks and no little sissies, little bitches.
Right.
And that milk money
Yeah.
was my shit. I worked hard for that shit, nigga.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, the childhood I had. I had one of them old school daddies hard. Now, my mama was very nurturing. Love. My mama was everything. I was mama's boy.
Yeah.
My dad used to say, I got to get your goddamn nose out from under your baba's skirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My parents, like I said, they were from down south, so they had that slave dialect shit. Sometimes, what the coming.
Yeah.
You just there. Words like yonder, wine. What's the matter with you? What's ailing you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You damn near had to have a slave dictionary to understand what the
They were talking about, yeah.
what the mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how my childhood was. Still like any other kid. It's a little different because mom switched gears on us a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Dwight, let's talk a little bit now, about your high school, like coming up in high school here. So you say you went to Southwest.
Yeah, man.
In
Southwest High School, the Mighty Wolves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk a little bit about your upbringing coming up through high school.
Oh, man, high school was pretty interesting, too. You know what I'm saying? That's when you start going through puberty and shit and, feeling them girls and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, man, that was really interesting because mom changed gears on us and everything with the religious aspect. It became difficult in high school to kind of.
When you say religious, though.
Well, my mom, she used to be like a holy roller, and everything, like Presbyterian, people that get the Holy Ghost and shit, talking in tongues, just all that type of shit right there. Yeah, that's her background, right?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, we go straight Jehovah's Witness. Everything stopped. Oh yeah, man, that shit right there was like.
So you was a Jehovah's Witness.
For a minute. So it was like a hot minute.
You used to have to go around and knock on
doors. Oh, man, goddamn, man. I got kicked the out. I'm going to tell you. Well, see, it was just like kind of shit that happened, man. Like you in high school and shit, the puberty kick in.
Yeah.
That's when you're hard for no goddamn reason at all. You ain't even think about shit. Your shit be like, bam. Teacher wanted to send you to the board to solve some kind of up problem. Yeah. And you like, your shit that right on hard, man. You like, nah, trying to get out that shit. Well, I'm going through that, right?
Yeah.
And then, you got to be all Christian and shit. So they would go around in neighborhoods, knocking on folks' doors and shit, watchtowers and all this kind of shit. So, I'm in high school, man. I'm going through the shit. I'm working at the Mickey D's and shit. This little female come around there, she trying to holler at a nigga and shit. And I'm trying to be like, because we can't them, right? That's the unevenly yoked shit. You know what I'm saying? But she trying
what do you mean you can't?
Well, they don't want you with other people. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay in this circle right here.
Gotcha.
Over here. You know what I'm saying? That's who want to over here. But over here they want to too, but it's a little bit more complicated. Okay. So anyway, this girl, she push up on the nigga real hard. I'm like, God damn, I'm trying, to be right and shit. My cousin Jeff, he went to Harper.
Okay.
Yeah, you used to call him Gus. Yeah.
I know Bob.
That nigga was a shit, but he was a hoe. That nigga was a super hoe. And he was trying to get his little cousin, off into some ass. You know how that is. I'm trying to be Christian. He trying, nah, nigga, that. That, man. This girl wanna you got your mama's van and shit.
Yeah.
So, man, you know how life is, man. The little female, she push up on me real hard. Get off in the van. I tried a little Jedi mind trick shit on her, trying to, she pushing up on me. I want to, and then I said, okay, let's do it. And she, oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking she gonna punk out. Shit. No. That shit was on fire, dude. I mean, you could just feel flames coming off that shit.
Oh, man.
So anyway, man, I get in the van, man, and this all this shit is new to me, right? And all this kind of shit. And I feel a little something, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, God damn, what is this? Nature take over, dog. You know what I'm saying? Your body start doing shit. You ain't got no control. Your shit just doing shit, right? Anyway, the next Sunday, how life would have it, we got to go around knocking on doors with them magazines and shit. Yeah. And we doing house over house. And I'm like, oh, shit. She live right there. Goddamn. She don't even know this shit about me, right? Now we got to, and I'm trying to hide behind this big nigga like you know what I'm saying? I was a little nigga, you know what I mean? Had a partner, he was big nigga, Fred. I'm trying to hide behind the nigga. He put me on blast and shit. And, he knock on the door and shit. I was like, man, goddamn, I'm trying to skip over this house, Why? Nigga, I don't need to tell you why. And then she come to the door. I'm hiding behind this nigga, and then she like, oh, is that you? I'm just smiling and shit. We were just in the van the other day. What's up? I didn't know you was on this tip. Yeah. Now my whole shit is blown, man. It's like, oh. So that's how high school was for me, man. It was wild. It was crazy. Just because of that religious aspect. Yeah. And, females wanting to do all this kind of shit. Yeah. Sweating a nigga, and I'm trying to be, the Mr. Do-Right nigga, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be a good boy for mom and all that kind of shit. Plus, I was scared all the time, too. I always thought it was like a damn angel following my ass around, taking notes and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, shit, Yeah. I don't want to get too up, Yeah. So, my mama was an angel, my daddy was the devil, and oh, wow. Shit was interesting in high school, bro. It put a lot of pressure on me. It really did.
Well, let me ask you this, Dwight. All right, okay, so you going through high school, you pretty much, like you say, your family is becoming more religious on different sides. Yeah. And, of course, you talked a little bit about the Jehovah's Witness side, knocking on doors. Oh, yeah. But then you talked about this female wanting to be What do you think it was about you? Me? That stood out to make this female man want to be so sexual with you in high school.
Yeah, man, they could just smell old hard virgin ass nigga, ain't never had no ass before. They want to get active, man. They want some of that real hard type of, you know what I mean? I mean, that's some real shit, man. My next door neighbor, her name was Jenna. She was like my little girlfriend. I talked to her on the low, And shit, man, one night I was coming in from work. I'm in high school, working a little job up at Kroger, sacking groceries and shit.
I did that.
Yeah, so, mom them let me use the car. It was up Cascade, to go back and forth. One night I come in, it's about 11:30. I'm walking to the backyard because Pop, being the old nigga that he was, you ain't coming in the goddamn door 12 o'clock, motherfucker. Go to the back. Yeah. Fuck around and get shut up in this. Okay. So I'm trying to go to the back of the house, man, and, her sister laying on the bed, on the phone and shit. I could see the window wide open, curtains open and shit. And I'm walking by, stepped on the stick. Stick broke. Pop. This bitch jump up, run to the window. What you doing? I mean, what the mean what I'm doing? I'm going in the house. Oh, hell no, nigga. You was peeking in the window. What? I wasn't peeking in the goddamn window. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Oh, you was peeking in the window, nigga. You ain't going nowhere. Wait right there. I said, no, I'm not waiting on you. Okay, nigga. If you move, I'm going to wake up everybody in this. I'm going to tell my daddy you was peeking in the goddamn window. Hey, what kind of shit that going to be? Your mama, my daddy, and her daddy weighed about 300. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 300. He was a biscuit eater. Yeah. Nigga was athletic too. So it wasn't my daddy wasn't going to be able to whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? His 175-pound ass. This nigga weighed 300 and athletic and shit. Nah, that shit wasn't going to work out. So I'm like, okay, well, all right. So I'm going to try to take, a little beeline shortcut to the crib, the back door, while she coming out and shit. The heifer was smart. She cut me off. Cut me off. She went the other way. Cut me off. I'm like, God damn. This heifer me. He goddamn did, man. So she was like, we I was like, nah, we ain't I said, yo, sister, girlfriend. I don't give a about none of that. We you was peeking in the window, so I was like, okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, you had a pretty interesting childhood, Dwight, coming up elementary, high school, man. Like you say,
I gotta say
spiritual,
that.
religious,
to
messing with the females, man, and just having a great time.
Hey, I got to keep it real with you though. You know, that damn experience, that shit was life altering. That shit was like, because she had some fire ass dog. I'm so you know what I'm saying? Like I told you, man, my body took over and shit. My shit was hard as Chinese arithmetic, man.
Oh, man.
I didn't know what to do with my shit, though. I was all over the place, man. You know, she grabbed my shit.
Oh, wow.
This is what you need to do with it. I went off of that. I said, oh, my God. Goddamn hair stood all up on my neck and shit. And then my body just took over. That was some good ass, dog. That shit was good. I was like, oh, I'm missing out.
Yeah.
After that, I wanted to but then still, you know, mama sweating, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's crazy. Then her ass told on me. She told her sister, yeah, he me. Oh, God damn.
Man. I told her sister.
Told her sister, man. Now her sister was like, man, because she was like, you supposed to me, you know? And you my sister.
Sister's going in it now.
Yeah, you need to me now. And on top of that, nigga, I want to have a baby. Hello. You know, man. Nigga trying to go to school and shit. What the crazy, man. And living next month, though. So I was always under that cloud, man, when them gonna tell my mama and shit. Now that the whole goddamn house is gonna blow up. Nuclear.
Yeah, especially staying there.
Yeah, man. Cause mama didn't play that. Daddy would have been happy in the
yeah.
You know, cause he was trying to put me up on that shit when I was 12. Imagine that
12.
shit. Yeah, man. I was 12 years old. Imagine this shit. You 12 years old. You don't really know nothing about no shit, right? You don't even feel like, from my generation, you ain't supposed to be talking about no shit like that. Yeah. This nigga catch me coming out the front door. Hey, nigga, come here. Uh-oh, what done happened? Hey, boy. Yes, sir. Is you I looked at the nigga.
Asked you that at 12.
Yeah, man, at 12 years old, nigga asked me, is you I said, no, sir. He said, why? Why you in Listen here, boy. I'm not having no punks and no sisters up in my goddamn house. That girl over there next door, Sean with that big ass, I see you out there playing football and shit with them. All of that shit, y'all niggas out there hunching on her and shit. You need to try to her. Get your boy. Get out under your mama's skirt. But that's who put me on to, you know, trying to do shit, man. You know, my dad was the devil, man. Then the nigga want to tell me about his first experience at 12 years old. Talking about, boy, let me tell you something. It's amazing. It is amazing, boy. I'm gonna tell you, that shit wet and hot and them little hairs be tickling your balls. And before you know it, boy, you be shooting corn. Shooting corn? What the shooting corn? What kind of shit is it? What is I don't know none of this shit this nigga talking about, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, you better get you some next door. He wouldn't have happened in the oh, that boy done got busted. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, boy, go get you some get out of your mama's skirt. But that's kind of dad I had that, and you know, that was kind of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I got to high school. Yeah. He would definitely, man, look, that nigga would bust into the room. You know, you supposed to have some goddamn privacy, your teenager and shit. That nigga would bust into the room, and you know how nature is. You wake up in the morning, your shit on hard, sticking up. He bust in the room. Goddamn, look at that. Come here, Rosie. Come here, Rosie. Look at this here. Look at this here. That nigga, if he wasn't, his shit wouldn't be like that. And my mama would cry. Goddamn, your parents at the foot of your bed arguing over you got a goddamn hard on, whether you
oh, man.
That shit, that was my high school shit, man. The shit was like that, you know, it up. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, though. You call your dad the devil. Why you call him the devil? Was some of the things you talking about right now?
Man, that nigga did. Oh, that nigga was the devil, man. He did all kind of wild, crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was a classic old school nigga. He believed that a man was supposed to be a provider, and that was your main role. Provide for your children, raise your men, your sons to be men the hard way, because, you ain't want your boys to end up being soft and shit like that. See, all that shit that go on today and shit, that shit wasn't popular back in the day.
What's going on today?
Oh, man, shit. I came home from Kuwait one time. I was in the barbershop. And so it just was different, man. It's a lot of shit that was just different.
We're going to get into that. We'll get into that.
It was just, Atlanta was soft.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. Times you coming back from Kuwait. Okay. So pretty much, let's talk about this, Dwight. What happened when you graduated from high school? What did you do then?
Well, when I graduated from high school, I got a job at United Parcel Service.
Okay.
Yeah. I weighed about 120 pounds.
UPS. So
UPS, right.
Postal Service.
I'm the smallest nigga in the room, right?
Yeah.
Every in there looked like they was a linebacker or some big-ass nigga, you know what I'm saying, sitting around a big-ass table. Yeah. It was like about 14, 15 in there, and the dude that was, giving us like the, whatever they call the walkthrough or what they call on board now and shit.
Right.
So this he looking around the room, he see me down there. And he say, how the did you get in here? I said, me? He said, yeah, you. He said, we ain't never had no as small as you in here before. How much you weigh? I said 125. God damn, you won't last a day. You probably won't even last 4 hours.
Yeah.
Long story short, man, shit. Out of them 15 that got hired, I was the last man standing. You know what I mean? So it was like for me going to work every day, my whole goal was just to make that day. But it was up. It was hard. I remember one time I thought I was gonna die, man. I was hurting so bad and shit, right? I called my mama. I said, Mama, I can't move. She said, what? Is you drunk, boy? I said, no, Mama. I said, I can't move, Mama. I said, I think I'm dying. My body hurting so bad. She told me get in the tub, or the Epsom salt.
Yeah.
All that shit, them old school shits.
Yeah.
Fill the shit up with Epsom salt and all this kind of shit. And I'm in that soaking for about 2 hours, And then I around and get some of that Bengay. Now this is the old school Bengay.
What had you saw though? Like what was it?
Work, man. That
packages?
UPS was a bitch, man. It was a beast. That shit was grinding up.
Yeah.
I was seeing pass out of shit.
Yeah.
All them big white boys pass out all the time because they was on Quaaludes and all that other shit. So them be in there and then boom, you look, man, God damn. So it was a beast. It was a beast. So that shit was real, man. So it had my body, all that work, man. But anyway, long story short, man, that hot ass bath opened up all my goddamn pores. I don't know, you know what I mean? And I get that old school Bengay. And I rub that shit all over my goddamn body, bro. All on my ass. All this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That shit got vapors, right? Next thing I know, man, 30-second leg. Felt like somebody stuck a blowtorch up my ass, bro.
Oh,
my goddamn balls was burning from the inside out and shit. I was like, call 911 and all this kind of shit.
Oh, man.
That when Grady, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh. That UPS me up nicely, that Bengay. That shit was real back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like this shit they got today, but
yeah,
man. Yeah, that's how it was,
Okay.
It was interesting. And then too, I got a real hard lesson. I had got married, right after high school, young and shit. So. But yeah, that's another little phase of it. Coming out of high school, I got married. That was another thing I did, real young.
Gotcha. How old was you?
Shit, man. Oh, I think I was like, when I got married, I probably was like 20, 21. You know what I'm saying?
When you meet her?
Shit, at church.
You met her at church?
Yeah, man. That's the most up place to meet at because they be the devil up in that, man. Be asking you to shit in church. That shit happened to me, man.
Oh, man.
I told Sally from California, told me her mom and them was out of town. Hey, come on over to the house. Shit, my mama out of town. I said, okay. So, like, why? So we can I say, hey, Sally, you do realize we in church and shit, right? What that supposed to mean? I said, God damn, this is the devil in here, man.
Oh, man, in church.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man. You remember that shit, who that? Al Pacino? He stuck his finger in the holy water and that shit was stinking. He was the devil in church. That's how them was.
Oh, wow.
They were the devil in church.
Yeah.
Got me busted on the phone with her ass, My mama, she was trying to always see what a nigga was doing, right? And my sister, you know how them girls did. They call your sister and shit, and your sister be like, somebody on the phone want to talk to you and shit. And, I got on the phone, it's Sally. Sally talking about the shit she talking about. My mama pick up the phone. And I'm just listening to Sally. And I asked Sally one question, well, what about protection? And she say, all you got to do is get some brothers. And my mama heard that shit. All hell broke loose. All hell broke loose.
Yeah.
I was like, it wasn't even me. The devil, though, man. Them hoes up in church, bro.
Man, oh, man. Wow. Stories of the church, women in church. How long you were married?
Man, 7 years. That first marriage was 7 years.
First marriage, 7 years. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's an interesting, because like kind of right out of high school, I got married and shit. And it's pretty much from Puerto Rico. I met her in church, and she pregnant and shit, just like that. And
so she was pregnant with your child?
Yeah, man. And
Gotcha.
What happened was I around and let one of them jabs get me, right?
Yeah.
I quit my job and shit because she didn't want me working at night. Around, life happens and shit, right? Shit. Lights get turned off, gas get turned off. We 3 months behind on the rent and shit. So my mama come over there because I'm all depressed and shit, sitting on my ass trying to figure shit out. She brought my favorite uncle, my Uncle Bill. And this nigga was real. He kind of put you in the mind of Terrence Howard with a mix of Lee Haney. So he was 6'3", 240, diesel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he came, and this is my favorite uncle. He used to carry me around in his arm and shit. And he say, what's going on, nigga? I say, nothing. I say, lost my job and shit. He said, okay, what you gonna do? I said, I don't know. That nigga hit me. Drill me. Straight right.
Hit you.
Yeah, straight right. Bam, in the chest. I went flying back and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the going on? This Uncle Bill.
Yeah.
Then I get up on my ass, nigga hit me again. And then he hit me again 3 times, and I'm like, what the going on?
Yeah.
Then the 4th time I get up, I threw my hands up. He said, oh, now you want to fight, nigga? Now you want to fight? I said, no, Uncle Bill, I love you. Then he told me, this was a real important lesson right out of school.
Okay.
So he says to me, he said, I knock you on your ass. What the you do? I said, I got up. Then he said, I knock you on your ass again. What you do? I said, I got up.
Got up. Yeah.
He said, I knocked you on your ass again, nigga. What'd you do? I got up. Well, I'm life. I'm life. I was like, oh, God damn, that was some real shit.
Yeah.
He told me, he said, I'm a felon and shit. I can't go to no regular job and all this kind of shit, but my lights on, my gas on, and I ain't 3 months behind on my motherfucking rent. All right, so your ass gonna be out here on the corner lumping trucks with me tomorrow night around about 11:30 when you need to get here. If you don't show the up, I'm gonna show the and we gonna do this shit again.
Yeah.
I was out there, goddamn 11:15.
Yeah.
I was waiting on that.
Early.
Hell yeah.
Early.
And we were working in the meat trucks and shit. The boxes, they weighed about 75 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm lighting the ass 125, 30 pounds. Them boxes were whooping ass. That shit, that's what made me join the army. I was in the bus and shit, and I seen that paper on the floor, be all you can be.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting the up out of here. I can't do this shit right here with this nigga right here. You know. So, yeah, man. That's how that shit went,
Gotcha. So when did you join the army then?
Shit, that was back in 83.
Okay.
83.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And, that was an interesting experience and shit, boot camp. I had the unfortunate luck of having the same goddamn name as the drill sergeant, right?
Oh, wow.
So, you know, when you going through boot camp, they do something they call picking their right? So they gotta pick a couple of that they gonna real hard. And everybody else be scared, like, oh shit, I don't wanna get like that.
Yeah.
I was that nigga, cause I had the same name. And this nigga said some shit so real to me one day, man. You know, they your head and everything, right? So this nigga said to me one day, he was like, Davis, I finally figured out how your ass came to be. Your daddy was in the motherfucking bathroom and shit off on the seat. Your mom sat down to that shit.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, them niggas had to hold me and shit, man. They was holding me and shit, you know what I'm saying? But that's how that basic was, man. They can with you. Now I'm out a yellow card.
Yeah.
They get pressurized, they pull out a card and shit. Nah, I'm from that old school shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and my uncle, that shit with him and the meat truck made me join the army.
Yeah.
And after that shit, man, you know, it's like, God damn, what the did I do? But now I'm proud of that shit.
Yeah.
You know, made it through.
I got you. Yeah. I never joined the service, but I actually was in the marching band.
Oh shit, you
In
want a
college.
band member? Oh,
In college.
oh, okay. Well, you
In
went to college.
FAMU.
FAMU. Oh shit.
And they say our initiation process is similar to going through the army.
Okay.
So yeah, and we actually had people that was in the band with us that actually was in the army, and they say, yeah, it's similar.
Man, FAMU
So, yeah.
always the shit, man. Y'all,
Yeah.
that music program down there was
we
always showed
yeah,
up.
I've been told.
Yeah, that's real talk.
Absolutely. So what happened after the army then?
Well, shit, after the army, you know, I got out the army and shit. I came home and I went to work for a company called Orange Coin Fiberglass Corporation down there in the country. Well, you know, you know,
When you say in the country, what about in the country?
kind of Palmetto, Fairburn, down that way, Union City,
Gotcha.
all down through there.
Yeah.
So I went to work there. You know what I mean? And I started doing that shit over there. You know, and I was out there about like 7 years. And then after that, I went to another company.
So, Dwight, of course, you was in the military. Let's talk a little bit about how long you was in the military.
Yeah, man, I was in the military a little over 4 years, you know, 4 years and some change, you know, served like 2 different units. First unit I was in was 16 Infantry. 16 Infantry, Hildesheim, Germany. And then I went from Hildesheim, Germany up to Kardabach, which is about like 2 clicks. That's like 2 kilometers. 501st Aviation Battalion.
Oh, right there.
That shit was pretty interesting too, you know, because like when you get to your permanent party, they have like an initiation type shit too, you know, similar to basic. So I'm the new come in, they want to take you to Nuremberg, the wall. So Nuremberg is like the closest big city. The wall is the Hostrow. That's the Hostrow. So you go to the wall, being initiated, right? And they got these buildings with a bunch of windows and shit. Just imagine like Amsterdam, that type of shit.
Yeah.
That shit exists in Germany. So you walking down the damn, you know, the hostel or whatever, you looking at all these females and shit, you know, in the windows and shit. They got on all kind of crazy shit. And so they trying to get you come off in there, you know. It's part of your initiation.
Oh, wow.
And man, I remember it was some Nigerian and they were some big motherfuckers, you know, and they talk deep. I don't know if you know about these Nigerian women, man, but them heifers is like, they built for it, right? So anyway, I'm walking down the street and I see her, you know, she weighed about 200 pounds. And remember, I'm weighing about 135, 40 pounds. It's a big. So she said, hey, my brother. I looked at her, I'm like, what?
Hey, my brother.
Yeah, hey, my brother. I said, no, I don't know you. She's like, no. Come talk to me. I want to talk to you. Come, my brother. You set up your sister? I said, you don't look like no sisters I got. And she like, no, my brother. Come over here. I'm going to put some love on like you never experienced. Put this African shit on you. I was like, oh my God. I was just imagining, you know, like if this heifer was to get me in a situation, man, I couldn't get this bitch off me. You know what I mean? She was big and strong, you know, one of them spear chucking type.
saying?
Yeah.
Go out in the bush and kill a zebra. Type of. But that was one of like the most interesting things. Like when you first get there, they want to initiate you. So they take you, to these different places and give you these weird experiences just so they can get a kick out of you, get up some kind of way or having some weird experience. Then the liquor. Oh man, the beer, the Germany got the best beer in the world. That shit is, man, that, what they call that, heavy vice and shit? Yeast type of shit.
Yeah.
With a little twist of lemon. Oh, that's the shit, man. Oh, that shit good.
Yeah.
So, another initiation is you got to go to what they call the guest house. So wherever you station at, that little town, that little village, you go to a restaurant where the mayor of the city, he will greet you to that town. So I go there and I eat and shit. And I'm drinking beer. I don't drink liquor, right? Like that back then. I didn't drink shit. I just drank beer, wine cooler. It was as serious as it got. So I'm in the restaurant, I'm drinking beer and shit. I get through with everything. I'm happy then. Then this come on and say, hey man, the mayor of the village has sent a shot for you to drink to welcome you to the city or the town.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't drink. It's like, you just drank beer. I said, I drank beer, but I don't drink that stuff. This shit was called a rock-the-push. Basically, rocket motherfucking few. Just think about grain alcohol. So this sent me a couple of shots, man. I'm like, oh, you got to drink this shit because if you don't, it's going to be like an international incident and all this kind of shit. I'm like, oh, man, come on, man. All of that behind a damn. I said, okay, it. I throw it back. That shit took my breath, man. All my shit was on fire.
Oh, wow.
Everybody fell the out. They laughing their ass off. That shit, I'm like, all these done poison me and shit. You know what I'm saying? I thought, oh, this the Red Army and shit over here, these terrorists and shit. And like, oh, okay, we got you. After that, these bring me every shot of liqueur they got in that mother. So I take about 12 shots of different shit.
Oh, nice.
The whole fruit, whatever kind of fruit there is, they had every one of them. Cherry, apple, grape, lime, all that shit. Man, by the time I got through all that shit, man, I stood up. My whole goddamn world flipped upside down. The road and shit was doing all kind of weird shit, snaking and shit. I'm trying to walk. I'm up 9 ways of Sunday. This fat German chick, she saw me walking down the middle of the street. I'm following the damn line because I couldn't walk on the sidewalks. I was so up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was that stumbling, bumbling drunk. You seen them? That was me. Never happened like that in my life, man. I'm up. And she telling me, come and see here, I said, oh man, this is a big village. And I was like, 9. That means no.
Yeah.
Nix. And she said, come and see here, bitch. I said, no. And then started running. All that shit was in motion. I seen all that shit. I said, oh. So I started trying to run, man, but I'm side to side, man. That heifer ran my ass down, put me in the head block and shit. Next thing I know, I'm going down some stairs and shit. I wake up the next morning, and it's a big ass white laying on the side, brunette, naked as a mother. I'm like, what the? Check myself and shit. Say, going on? What happened? She just laughing her ass off, And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this nigga pop up from on the other side of her. What's that about, nigga? I was like, oh, fuck, what's going on in this? He said, oh, this is my girlfriend. She saw you walking down the street. She thought you were going to get run over by a car and shit. Because, over there, they drive like a right?
Yeah.
Autobahn, they ain't got no speed limit on them secondary road. They be riding out.
Yeah.
So I was walking down the middle of the goddamn road on the line and shit. She trying to save a nigga, But, man, the way she played that shit was like, we last night. And I was like, oh, like this. Nah, man, the doesn't happen, But, yeah, that was Germany, man. I enjoyed that shit, though. I really did.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So it seemed like, man, over there, man, you kept running this overweight.
Oh, wait.
In the higher, man. That's what it's like.
Hey, man, them German, they eat like that off in the village. Now, you get up in the town and shit, that when you run into supermarket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that when they make you flip and shit. You want to, you be thinking, God damn, you see look like Marilyn Monroe and shit. You know what I mean? Christy Brinkley and shit. I saw them. And see, the difference between white women over here and German women, they got asses, bro.
Yeah.
Them German Europeans, they up on the ass game. It ain't tits and little ass, you know what I'm saying, or bad body or flat ass. Germans have some ass on them. So you naturally, brothers, we like ass, right? You gotta have some ass on you. Right? And them German girls made you want to bro, because, they was exotic. Red hair, blonde, brunette, you know what I'm saying? Freaky and shit. Nipple twisters, talking shit. Yeah, man.
Okay. So while you was in the army, like what other places you traveled to? What else you did while you was in the army?
Shit, man, we went from Germany to Boston, California on a training exercise. I went all over Germany, France, some little place called Luxembourg and shit, doing all these damn, what they call RTEPs, training exercises, playing in the mud and shit. When I was over there, the wall was still up. You know what I mean? If you went to Berlin, you had to fly into Berlin. And then it was, half was this west and half was east. So that shit was, real. I mean, we went on like one of them little, what they call like a little trip you take, right? And they take you up to the border. And this was Czechoslovakia. And was on the wall looking at us shit with binoculars and shit. And we looking at him, they looking at us. And they laughing their ass off, we laughing our ass off. This shit, like, this some crazy shit, man. And then that fell, that wall fell, thank Reagan, Gorbachev. That shit fell, what, 87? But when I was over there, the wall was still up. So, it was interesting.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Man.
And while you was in the army, I mean, you was married this whole time while you was in the Marine?
Yeah, I was married. Like the first year and a half, I was over there by myself. So, yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I did.
And you only had one kid or you had multiple kids?
At that time, I had 2 kids.
2 kids, gotcha.
Yeah, I had 2 kids before I actually got there.
Okay.
All that training and shit, I went to Oklahoma for my, what they call AIT. That's where you learn to do whatever, particular job you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I went from there to Germany, and I remember I protesting because I thought the ground was going to be purple, the sky was going to be orange and shit. I didn't want to go to Germany. I was like, man, fuck, a nigga just want to stay over in the States. I want to just do some shit here and get a job at Marbella because I ain't no life. I ain't with y'all like that.
Yeah.
Like when I was in it was peacetime army. So a life is a that couldn't do shit else, right? You can only be in the army because you just that stupid. You're a stupid. Can't, You know what I'm saying? And army always been considered like bottom of the totem pole. You know what I mean?
Why you say that?
Because, the Air Force, you got to take a test called the ASVAB.
All right.
Right? If you don't score high enough on that, you can't the Air Force. Oh, no, we can't do nothing with your dumb ass. Then you go down to the Navy.
Right.
And you ain't score high enough for the Navy, they be the same shit. You can't do nothing with your dumb ass. We got boats and submarines over here. You might need to go check with them and that green shit. And then the Marines, goddamn, you ain't want that smoke. Them are just known to be crazy. And anytime some shit pop off, the Marines is the first to go. They gonna see combat before anybody do. So then your last option is the Army.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how that shit played out. So it was what it was, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So, you was in the Army, you said around about 7 years?
No, I was in there about 4 and some change.
4 and some change, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but I actually did like 8.
Okay.
Because you got inactive service, you got to show up at this little office and shit where they try to make your ass go back in and shit, pressuring you and shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Come on, nigga.
So you say 8 years then. I said about 7.
Yeah, it was 8 because that was my commitment.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So what happened that led you to leaving the Army?
Shit, up ass wife. You know what I'm saying? Running the streets and shit, doing shit, and nigga go to field all the time. You an infantry unit, 2 weeks out every month, you gonna be out there in them woods and shit. She in the NCO club and shit, and doing all this shit. So, I was like, this. Time to get the Army.
Gotcha.
as a man, see, they kind of, see, the thing about being in the military is you kind of lose your manhood in a sense, right? And when I say in a sense, what I mean is you become government property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you want to make certain decisions and this, and this, you got other above you that's making decisions on top of your shit, and that takes control away from you. So if a man can't control his house, you ain't really a man. I come from that type of shit. Right? Men run their house, they control the narrative in their house. That's what you do as a man. Another man ain't supposed to be running your shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, I can't with this. I got, these nah. But I was having a good time in the Army. I was real successful. I was that nigga that got all them awards and shit, fixing shit I wasn't supposed to be able to fix, fixing, doing avionics job. So I was working on helicopters, airplanes. Right. These couldn't fix shit. They call me and shit and be like, hey, can you this helicopter? I was like, no, that ain't my shit. No, I'm not trying to get no Article 15 some shit I ain't, And they be like, nah, nigga, I said, well, you give me something in writing.
Yeah.
That CO gave me some shit saying, hey, with it. I went out there, 45 minutes. Boom. I done fixed that shit. They like, God damn.
Yeah.
This is a 31 Victor. Which that was a dude that sort of like, he was like a go to Best Buy, they got a little car installer. So his putting the radio in, right? And wiring all that shit up. But if something wrong with your radio and shit, he ain't fixing that shit, right? It's another fixing that shit internally.
Yeah.
I was the that could fix your shit like that other.
Where did you develop that skill set to be able to know how to
Because
work on
you know how you got want to learn, know shit.
Yeah.
I was that type. So I wanted to know my job, which I was proficient at, but how could I be the man? Not in a competitive way, but I wanted to know next level shit. How do I, upgrade myself? So what I would do is I'd go up to the shop and watch break these radios down. So I started learning that shit. And then when we in the field and the colonel shit ain't working, you know what I'm saying? And he doing backflips and shit. This ain't trying to hear, I gotta wait a month on my shit.
Right.
Hey, what that Davis at? Davis come turn some screws, do some shit.
Yeah.
Like, talking like new money. He like, God damn, you the shit.
There you go.
So,
Taking action.
yeah, I was that dude, man. I was that dude, man. My knew about me. Right?
Got you. So yeah, what happened after the Army?
Well, shit, after the Army, I came back to this, and tried to restart my life and shit. Went to work at this place called Orange Corn. Now, first I went to job. My brother was out there working in a place off on industrial called Metal Plate Galvanizing and shit. That was a man. It was goddamn steel beams and shit. They dipping that shit down and zinc and all this other shit. Acid in the air, burning your lungs, your eyes, and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then you working with some, when you're doing a job like that, man, you working with some hard ass niggas, they can't do shit else. Nowhere else, this one of them type of up job. So my brother in there flipping beams and shit. I'm a little nigga out there grinding and shit. I'm like, man, this is up. You know what I'm saying? So I went from that shit to, what was that shit? What was that shit? I'm trying to think of the name of that company. Yeah. Orange Corn Fiberglass. Okay. So I had like a big brother. His name was Barron and shit. He worked down there. He had a little clout. And so, he hooked me up with a job. But that was one of them hard too because it was fiberglass. So you be off in that itching and shit all the time, especially when it was hot. I went to that. And after that shit, I went to a company called McMaster Car. I did that for a minute, right? You know what I'm saying? And then this is how I ended up getting into contracting and shit. So there was a chef in that motherfucker. He was cooking and shit. And he had a newspaper. And it said, big bucks for big risks. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, what the is this? You're like, this is military shit, but you ain't in the military. You work overseas and shit. I said, overseas? He said, yeah, man, but it's some real paper. I was like, really? He like, yeah, G, you need to do this shit. Try, and that put me on that road around and flew down to Florida, Orlando. Went down there partying and shit with the Cubans and shit. Went to a little dog fair.
Yeah.
And the white boy on the phone that I was talking to heard me talking, recognized my voice, and was like, Davis. I was like, yeah. He like, man, it's finally good to meet you, man. What's going on? I said, oh, shit, man, I'm trying to get my job. You tell me. He said, well, I'm a logistics part of it, man, but I got this over here, I'm like, well, tell that, what's up? He's like, okay. But, he was a real square white dude. You know what I mean? L7 type, the talk real proper. Not like these wiggers today. You got wiggers out here, man. Way more black than you is. You know what I'm saying? Them all be talking shit. You be like, what the f? I don't even know what kind of slang your ass speaking. But anyway, Square hooked me up with this little Puerto Rican dude. And, he put me in the game, man. Next thing I know, I was on, a plane going to Houston and shit, getting all kind of shots in the ass. 2-3 months later, because a hurricane hit that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the plane. And that's how I ended up in Kuwait, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Dwight. So let's talk a little bit about when you first got over in Kuwait. Let's talk a little bit about your journey, of course, getting into logistics, to even just your lifestyle over in Kuwait as a whole.
Okay, yeah, man. That was some interesting shit too, because, when I was what they call wheels up, right? Right out of the, you go through the processing and all that kind of little, whatever training they giving you, all this kind of shit. So you get on a plane, it's forever and a day to get to that, right? So then when we get to Kuwait and shit, and that bitch land, and I get off the plane and I'm walking and I see all these dashikis and shit. First thing happened in my mind was, God damn,
Yeah.
all these motherfuckers have been like, was like I was like, and then we came down these escalators and all I seen were these mullahs and shit.
Yeah.
Big motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. What the have I done? Because I'm not seeing no sign, KDR, no shit like this.
Right.
It's just a sea of white sheets and shit, and the damn women walking around and all that black shit. I'm like nervous as motherfucker. Now, this shit right here on.
Yeah.
Fuck. So when we get down to the bottom, there's one chick that was on the plane with me, little sister and shit, and I was like, I'm finna, where the shit at? The counter. I'm getting out. This ain't nobody here and shit.
Yeah.
This is up. Look at all these been like here. All I could imagine was me out in the desert with a damn sword and shit,
Yeah.
and I'm that nigga about to get his shit cut off, cause these ain't what the supposed to be, right? So shit, she get on the phone, she make a few calls and shit, and I'm at the desk. I'm trying to get my shit, my ticket.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not doing this shit. And then she finally got a phone. She said, oh, they told me where we gotta go and this. So we go around the corner to that little spot, and there's some people over there, but they don't even know we supposed to even be there. They were like, we don't know nothing about y'all. I'm like, what the is this? Shit right here. Next thing I know, man, we sitting there, pick us up and shit, and they got me paranoid as on these buses. They got curtains and shit, right? And they told us, don't open up the curtains. What? Don't open up the curtain. Don't be looking out the window and all these. What?
Yeah.
The going on? You know what I'm saying? It's like that.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Ain't no damn, they ain't got no muscle and shit. It's just us.
Did
I
tell you why you can't open up the curtains?
Yeah, because, we was American. We don't want nobody to see you and shit. I'm like, man, this all kind of up right here. Like I said, they ain't no muscle either.
Yeah.
Like one look like, he could have some businesses or shit, blah. And we ain't got shit, no weapon, no what the So we riding and shit, riding. Man, I see all the lights kind of disappear and shit. And now we way out in the desert somewhere. Ain't no lights and shit. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is all kind of up. So to get to this place, it was called Khalifa or some shit like that. Khalifa. So you get out the bus and shit, it's dark and shit. My niggas in a room and shit with some you don't even know and shit.
Oh, man.
It's like, damn, I was in there with a Mexican cats and shit. That looked like he was MS-13 or some shit.
Oh, man.
I'm like, these people got me up.
Yeah.
So we had this place, Khalifa. I was there for like a month, bruh. And wasn't saying shit. You just go and eat and just hang the out. I got tired of that shit. I wanted the personnel to say, hey, do you know I'm here? I exist?
Right, exactly.
They was like, what's your name? I said, what the name? What's my name? You supposed to know what the my name. I'm asking you shit. Long story short, man, the shit was crazy, man. And then finally, they started doing their little research and shit. And okay, we know who he is and all this kind of shit, right? So then when the dude shows up for MHE, because that's what I was over there for, material handling equipment. That's what that acronym stands for.
Okay.
So this show up, he the MHE manager, right? This sweet as molasses, though. He show up, white dude. So you're Davis. I was like, yeah. He was like, well, we don't have any MHE positions.
What?
Like operating forklift. That's what the I said.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What the you talking about?
Yeah.
You ain't got no. I said, this is what I said to the dude, right? And it was a big white boy that was with me. He held me because I was like, he grabbed my shirt and shit. Like, hold up, dog. Calm down. Wait a minute. He was like, no, we use third country nationals to operate the forklifts. Our expats don't do that. I was like, man, you talking about that? I said, the grill goddamn. What my goddamn job ain't got no nothing. I'm over here in the motherfucking desert, Middle East.
Exactly.
And you talking about, I ain't got no work. I was like, somebody gonna do something around this. He was like, no, okay, calm down. We have something called a T-Rex. I ain't never seen one of them in my life.
Yeah.
And they had a RT-240. That was the military type T. I never seen one of them. I was in the military. I know what the fuck that was. So he said, that thing over there. I was like, that thing over there? What is that?
Yeah.
It's a container handler. Have you? No, I ain't never seen one of them. Well, that's what you're going to have to operate because that's what our expats do. I say, man, you with me right now. I said, on my shit, it say forklift operator. It don't say nothing about that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, somebody ass about to get busted because this, you gonna find some shit for me to do. Oh, okay, calm down, okay. Well, if you just give us 2 weeks, try to learn it. And if you don't like it, you can go in the maintenance department. How about that? God damn, what kind of shit? I thought these Arab motherfuckers with that gay shit. You know what I mean? But they some real booty bandits over there, bro. I'm trying to tell you, them they got like Thursday, they call that man day, where they run around, trying to dudes and shit. That's what they do. That's what they do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Thursday man day, and women, they just for having babies. They can all kind of up, man. To me, I'm like, God damn, how you cannot like, how the can you be that type of money? What the is wrong with the over here? You know what I mean? That make want some ass rather than some. I just couldn't see that shit, man. But anyway, Fruit Loop and shit, got me to do the thing, for about 2 weeks and shit. I did it, man. I caught on to the shit, and then, that's how I got into, running container handlers and shit. I ain't know nothing about that shit.
Yeah.
But I was on that forklift though.
Operator, yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, I was for a 10K. I call myself the 30K pimp. Cause I pimped that shit. Hey man, I ran the shit out of forklift. I damn sure did. So,
Gotcha.
It became real interesting. Cause a few Well, most of them, especially in MAT, them jabs and shit, they couldn't get no security clearances, right? And so this place, Ali Al Salim Air Force Base, you had to have a security clearance to be on there. I had a clearance. And so they was like, okay, we need you over Ali Al Salim and shit, right? But the MAT had to stay on Camp Bury, which was in the middle of the desert, right? Dark and there, shit, excuse me. And for me, I first started out on night shift because I was new, so night shift, senior people.
What was night shift?
Night shift, man, it was cooler at night because in motherfucking daytime, shit.
What was the hours like?
12 hours. You go in 7, get off at 7 in the morning, shit like that. So, and it was 7 days a week when I first started. It wasn't no day off or none of that shit.
Gotcha.
You just grind, bro.
Yeah.
That shit was a grind too.
Yeah, I bet.
So, it was cool at night, being able to handle the weather and all this kind of shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that part was cool. Plus I was working with a brother. The Jebs was on the day shift. I was on the night shift.
Gotcha.
So that was like, that was kosher. That was kosher.
Gotcha.
But the bulletin was up and the ride was because just imagine, it's dark and ain't no street lights out there, right? They always talking about unexploded ordnance and shit out there in the desert. And you bahaing through that. Jams love that shit. Mud and bahaing. Oh, they like pigs and slop, man. This type of shit.
Yeah.
We in that like, god damn. Headache and shit, bouncing through the desert and I can't see shit. Scared some shit gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Scared being locked out there. Gonna pop out one of them sand holes and shit and you up. It was that type of shit, man. It was crazy stress, and shit like that,
Yeah.
That's how that shit was. And then, after a while, the dude that was my foreman, he kind of got on with another company. That was one of the things, working with KBR, they were so restricted and treating you like you was in the military, but at the same time letting you know you wasn't military, type of shit. A lot of better job, more money, more freedom. Not this pressure and shit. So he left, and when he left, the jails wanted me on day shift. They was like, we want this nigga right here because he work and he do shit. He on top of the maintenance, he clean the machine, all this shit. We want that nigga right there. So that's how I got on day shift. And I learned a lot of shit from the jails. I just made this, this, I guess, what you call it, deal with the mother. I just basically say, hey, look, man, I know what you about. You know what I'm about? Look, as long as you don't disrespect me no kind of way, I'll work my ass off. But the day you ever come out your mouth with some bullshit, it's on. And he was like, I got you. And we never did have no problem. For, many years, I learned a lot of shit from him. But he was racist, man. He really was, man. Yeah. A lot of shit. So it was hot. We was on Ali Al Salam. That's where, I started getting my feet wet so far as really, really running equipment. Because they had a array of shit. They had all these different kind of forklifts. Everything from a 6K to basically the 40-ton T-Rex.
Right.
So you learn all this shit, and I learned every piece of equipment. It was certain that didn't do nothing but run a 10K. That's all they did. Remember I said earlier in the military how, my job was this, but I wanted to know what that doing above me so that I could be that dude. I wanted to know more. So, I learned all of this equipment. Then I became the man. So on Ali Al Salim, the military loving me. They give me all kind of, certificates, awards and shit for outstanding work.
Yeah.
Built that way. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that me was bahaing through that damn desert and no. Now it was like this shit right here. After about 3 months, man, your nuts, they swell up on your ass. You be like, man, shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't the shampoo man. You know what I mean? These niggas get in the shower and shampoo and shit, be in there working and shit. I'm not that nigga.
Yeah.
No, I want the real shit. What good at?
I got you.
So shit. We got together as a group and was like, hey, this behind you. You know, I'm ready to be out this. And the project manager looked at the situation for us and what we were saying, you know, headaches, this shit, all that. So then we got moved into the city. So then it got a little bit better because I was ready to bounce. You know, I had been on there like 3 months and I was like, I was off the chain, man. You couldn't say shit to me. I was like, what? You talking about? You know? I'm like, man, his balls. So that nigga needs.
Oh man.
And so my foreman, because I told him I'm finna quit and shit, he told me, why don't you go to Thailand? Thailand. I had never heard of Thailand. I know nothing about no Asian shit. He told me, hey man, go to Thailand, take a LWAP. What the LWAP? Leave without pay. You working 7 days a week. You know, you need a little stress relief. So I don't know shit about Thailand, but I said, okay, it, you know. I get on the plane. 10, 12 hours later, I'm in Thailand.
So pretty much over in Kuwait, and you are pretty much over in Kuwait, and like you say, you are over there, and for one, you find out this guy, of course, you're talking to. You say that he's kind of like on a,
Oh, dude.
you know,
Yeah.
cause yeah, I could tell by the
Yeah, he wasn't a stud in whatever relationship he was in.
right.
He was not the. He was the.
You find out that's real heavy
Yeah.
over there, and then you know he's as well attempting to get you to learn how to work this different type of machinery or equipment
I don't know shit about.
that you're not really educated on because you're used to being a forklift operator.
Right.
But you go on to learn it
Yeah.
and become real great at it, and pretty much working 7 days a week, working around the clock in terms of from evening to the next day.
Yeah.
And but you over here though, you saying, you know, you ain't really getting no women.
Oh hell no, man. You know,
really getting no women.
cause you know they were few and far between. You know what I'm saying? You know, cause all the that was already there. You know, they got the on lock, and you got the. You know what I'm saying? And then they was sweating you real hard about the military. You can't then get your chicken and pasta. You know.
Yeah.
That type of shit. Chicken and pasta mean they gonna fire your ass. You're gonna be on a plane, chicken and pasta.
Yeah.
If you them, you know. So now what you supposed to do? Tie your shit in a knot? L to the no, man. That shit ain't, you know. So I'm like, I'm ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
So that's a
That's when the
yeah, that when Thailand kicked in. Right.
happened.
So that's what made me stay is that trip to Thailand.
Okay. Did you have a vacation or something? Because you was working 6 days a week. So why had you go over to Thailand?
Called a LWAP. So it, you know, that's like leave without pay. So
Okay.
they just giving you a break.
Yeah.
You know, you can take up to 10 days, just out of Dodge,
Yeah.
get your shit, you know, recalibrated,
Yeah.
you know, so you can continue the mission because you is working 7 days a week,
Right. Exactly.
you know, and that shit is like, you know, unless your ass is sick or some shit,
Yeah.
you at work every day, you know, and you riding with these, whoever the people you with, you know, you riding with them in and out, every, you know, this shit get monotonous, man. But, you know, it was real up, but that, you know, the money you making it, but it was a tough sport. You know, real talk. It was a tough sport. But that little trip is what broke it up and made me be like, okay, if I could do this, with this.
Okay.
With this.
Yeah.
That trip right there, that shit was eye-opening, man.
Okay. Well, open it. Let's talk about that.
So, you know, like back in the day, you know, I had cousins and uncles and shit that had been in the Nam, right? And these you talking about Asian women and shit, which I ain't know shit about, you know. Everybody was a Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew about Thai people and Filipinos and Indonesians and all these Asian people over there. You just knew Chinese.
Right.
You know, chicken fried rice.
Yeah.
You know? And that's all you knew. That's what we know them for.
Chinese food.
Go there and give me some Chinese food. Everybody Chinese food. Right. So that's what I thought, you know what I'm saying? But I went to Thailand, man, get off the plane and shit. And, you know, I was by myself solo, scared them come, foreign country again. I don't know what the these about. You know what I mean? So, you know, you don't want to be that walking around looking like a tourist and shit.
Right.
Upset.
Yeah.
You know, keeping yourself aware. But god damn, that shit right there that shit made it really, really worthwhile, that experience in Thailand.
Okay.
So I get there, man. I go to Hard Rock Cafe. I'm in there drinking. And this old chick, Thai chick, roll up on me. She about 50, right? But she look like she's 30.
Mm.
And she asking me all these questions. I'm like, what you asking me all this shit for? You trying to figure out what I'm doing over here, you know? And, you know, I was lying. Yeah, I've been here before and all this kind of shit. And then she said, well, you know, I got a little friend. I was like, I don't do no blind date type shit. If you're ugly or something like that, I'm going to let you know right there. Hey, you know, nah, I can't with this situation right here. So she called her name was Moo. It mean pork. So she show up and shit. I'm like, God damn. She had a little onion on her, little rack and shit. Like, okay, this all right. So she started taking me around and showing me shit. We walking down the street. Bitches is pulling on my clothes and shit. Hey, chocolate man. All this shit behind the back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the is this? These they just own you like white on rice and shit. You know? So I played it real cool, real easy and shit. I ain't trying to hit, you know. And she took me all these places and shit. The food was on point, all this kind of shit. The second day, the third day, something like second, third day, she asked me, she say, hey, can I spend the night with you? I was like, yeah, you know. Shit, all Chinese arithmetic. I need some there. You know what I'm saying? You know. And that's when that shit came back with my uncles and my cousins that had went to Nam was talking about. They were talking about that sideways. Talking about sideways.
Oh man.
Sideways, man. You're like, sideways? How can a be sideways? Sideways, boy. I'm telling that shit. You just, you know, like, God damn, man, you know. But man, the thing about them little tire, they all about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? They all about that. And the thing about it is they little, right? You know what I'm saying? So they do a lot for a mother confidence. You know, that's why them white boys be running over like that. You know, because when they pull out that Vaina and shit, you know, and they hit them with that Vaina, them like, you know, them Thai girls be acting like, oh, shit. You know, they just, you know, you think, oh, goddamn, I'm a real man. I'm a beast in this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they know what to do to keep that shit on point. You know, that sideways mean it's a bitch that got that G.I. Joe with the kung fu grip, right? 5 fingers of death. Grab your shit and be milking that man, and you be like, God damn, you feel everything. Everything. That shit have you just vibrate, man. They got that game down, bro. So anyway, you know, after that shit, I'm recharged. I go back to Kuwait, you know, and now I can do, you know, my everyday job without all that, you know, my balls is relieved. I can do another 3 months before I can pick me another hell while I go get me some more ass, you know. And so I started working, you know, and just doing shit, man, just get into the routine of just being there. And, you know, then after a while, you start to meet other people in other departments. First, it was just MHE, nobody else too much, you know. Then I started, you know, getting involved with other people who was doing different shit. Because like I said, I like to learn. And I meet the MTC guys, what he doing, what his shit, how his shit correlated with when he was in the military and all this kind of shit.
Right.
You know, and then I started learning that, you know, that little aspect of it. And, you know, time goes on and shit, man, and then it becomes like just a lifestyle, you know, you living and working and you know, day to day.
So the way outside of work, let's talk a little bit about the lifestyle as a whole over in Kuwait, how your lifestyle was over in Kuwait.
Yeah, man, you know, it was, like I say, it was pretty, you know, interesting in a lot of aspects. But then, you know, once I got used to the daily grind, you know, then, you know, just going to and from work became monotonous. So you had to kind of try to figure out something else to do when you had time off, you know. So we living in Billington and stuff, and, you know, a lot of little Asian women and shit were working in there. They were the housemaids and the Sri Lankans and shit. You know, and they walking around and stuff, and they trying to flirt with you and shit like that, you know, and you like, okay, you know. And this little Sri Lankan named Fema, man.
every day, you know, she come into my room and shit, you know, doing little shit, cleaning out things. Yeah, you know, I'm like, okay. Then one day she hit me with, you know, can I talk to you more tonight? I'm like, I don't know, because I don't want you to get caught up in too much dramas. She's like, no. I work here. I know everything I have to do, you know. Man, that heifer came to my room, bruh, and she put some of that Sri Lanka shit on me. I thought she peed on me, bro.
Oh, that's the man.
God damn. I said, what the you know? She told me, man, you know, she had been married for 20 years and never bust.
Oh, man.
Never had and I was the first
Man.
help her achieve that shit, right? So anyway, that became like another part of living over there and shit, but I didn't want no type of relationship shit. Then I was like, where the black people at? And it was this motherfucker, his name was Dale. He was with the Africans. I didn't even know they had no Africans over there. So he started telling me, oh, yeah, it's Ethiopians. I said, Ethiopians? Ain't them hungry motherfuckers? I said, I ain't hungry. He was like, no, they ain't hungry like that over here, dog. They. That's what we came up saying. Yeah, you know, TB and stuff. Real man, but that's all we knew, right? Swollen belly is hungry and shit. Yeah. So, you know, I said, okay. He took me to a little party and they was in there doing the chicken dance. This is a thing they do, right? Yeah, they doing the chicken dance and shit. And I really didn't know what was going on, man, but it was just like a little hookup type thing. I thought it was a party, but that's really what it was. So they was trying to hook you up with these little Ethiopian females. And that's how I met my first Ethiopian wife, was at one of the functions. Okay. You know, and shit. So I started trying to help her out. You know, basically I was just trying to help her get home, you know what I mean? But she looked like a supermodel. That help was, woo! Yeah, she was fine. But she was a headhunter at the end of the day. So a headhunter is basically somebody that's looking specifically for a foreigner, right? They feel like you're going to be the ticket. Tickets are in financial. Okay. Right? So, you know, you're going to support them and indirectly you're going to support their family. Right? And I was there making like, I'm not trying to, you know, do all that. I'm looking for some genuine shit. Like, cause she was so fire, you know, I mean, you know, I went down that avenue, you know, trying to see how the shit, you know, was going to work out. And then I started going to, Ethiopia. But that only happened out where, you know, you be over there shit. Sometimes shit happens. So you over there raw and shit sometimes. You know how you have one of them days when you like, man, goddamn, it was a moment. You know, you just knocking it down. You just come back like, oh, you know, you like, oh shit, we in the Middle East. Bitch, you can't be over this pregnant. God damn. Over our ass finna be on the chopping block, you know, our shit, you know, cause they up like that. Yeah. So long story short, you know, nigga want to do the right thing, you know, and I went down the avenue and, you know, got her up out of there, back to Ethiopia. And she was pregnant with my son who's now with me here. And he's like 17. Unfortunately, she passed away. That's why he ended up being here. I mean, with me, you know what I mean? But I say that. Yeah, it was hard, man. You know, it was a shock to my system. He is his mama, you know. Yeah. You feel me? Right. So for me, you know, yeah, she was like trifling this shit. Up. But on that tip, you know, it's his mom, you know, you ain't never gonna speak on your child's mom in that way. At least I was raised that way. Right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your issue, that's you and her, but it's his mom. So, you know, it's a very painful situation for him. But hey, Pop is here. But, you know, that's why I ended up going to Ethiopia so many different times, because I had to get her up out of that country. And then I had to marry her, make sure that when she went home to her family, you know what I'm saying, she was straight. Yeah. She didn't come home looking like a, you know, because that shit is serious for them so far as a culture. Right. Shame in the family. It could result or end up resulting in other shit happening to her as a result of you come here shaming the family, looking like you, they giving up and getting pregnant and shit. What the wrong with you? That's how they see that shit. You know? Yeah. So I did the right thing, you know, but she wasn't acting right, bro. So I had to 86 that shit and then, you know, move on to the next. chapter in my life. And then I stayed in this building in Kuwait. At this point, now I'm living on the economy. No more on the cap and all this kind of shit. I got my own crib. I'm living, just like a normal. I'm going to the grocery store and doing all this other shit, living.
Yeah.
And I had like a couple of housemaids and shit, because you were in that 12-hour shift. So I had a lady come in, clean up my apartment. Sometimes she would make me meals and stuff like that. Beautiful situation, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got one that gave you little friends, benefits, you know what I mean? So, you can get comfortable.
Yeah.
And then, I got kind of comfortable, living like all that kind of stuff. But in that building, there were other Americans, right, who were married to different women from different countries and all this kind of shit. And they was living there too. And I had a neighbor, his name was James, right? He was big nigga, man. Always sauced up and shit. That's why I just pull in and just hype, and then they were trying to wait for him to get on the elevator to my flat and shit. But his wife, they brought my wife, which is his wife's sister, over to help them when she was having a baby. So that's how my wife ended up in Kuwait. So she was there to help her sister.
Gotcha.
Right. And so living in the building, I was still, every now and then, but she was skinny, man, like a string bean. She didn't really have the assets. She was real cute. Real cute, big head, pretty little face. But the body wasn't like banging like the 4th of July. So that was just shit, right? But later on, though they said I'm skinny girl, you put on skinny man down the line,
Yeah.
Right. They come full circle. Booyah.
Yeah.
She full circle now. But yeah, man, that's how I met her, The dude, he got ready to leave Kuwait, him and his wife, and she wasn't ready to leave, so she left and went to stay with some other folks or some shit like that. And she was still working. And just incidentally coming in from work, I saw her there, one night, getting out, up the car from work and shit. I was like, oh, yeah. I thought you was gone. She was like, no. They left. Oh. So that's how we started talking.
Guys.
So we started talking, having a little coffee here and there and all that kind of stuff. And things progressed, And, we ended up, getting married over there and everything. And then my first son, Matthew, was born there in Kuwait. And then my daughter, Lizella, the second baby, she was born in Kuwait.
Yes.
And, we was just living over there, And, life was life. We went here and there, and I still went on vacation every now and then, to get up out of Kuwait.
Yeah.
And I went to my favorite spot, Thailand. But it was it became really, really, like normalized. It had got to the point where it was like in my mind, I wasn't coming back this way.
Yeah.
Because traveling abroad, you start to learn shit from watching other people, right? And you start finding out how they're moving. So I was seeing these people who go to places like Thailand, Sri Lanka, and for the money, they was getting these micro mansions and shit. Real laid cribs.
Yeah.
They had drivers, maids, all this shit.
Yeah.
So, for that money, man, it was like, okay, you can live like this.
Right.
This side of the pond.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay over here and live like this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that really was my plan is, I'm gonna give me a spot either in Thailand or Belize or some other place, but I wasn't coming back to the world. I got a hump to blow there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I could see that happening, man. Cause even myself, I've been fortunate enough to have a high rise before here in Atlanta. And I know how much I was paying for that a month. But I remember I went over to DR actually last year.
DR, okay.
I went over to DR last year, and one of the buddies that went over to DR with me, he was talking to me about Thailand, and he was showing me a high rise he had and stayed over in Thailand for a moment. And it was looking over the water. He told me how much he was paying a month.
Yeah, and I was thinking about what I paid for I rise here, and when you're looking over the water, I said, man, that made me think different. Like, man, that shit is real. And then the food, real in the mouth. Absolutely. I mean, really, man. Yeah. And you know, the reason I didn't want to go to Ethiopia because I went there like about 25 times, man. Yeah. And you know, like with my first wife and shit. Yeah. They took me off in the hood. Okay. And so I'm like, God damn, it's like a metal, like petition or some shit. They got this little area and they got these little houses and shit and people living in there. It's like the micro village, micro community. So I go off in there, man, and first thing for me is they cooking food and shit for kitchen app. Yeah. You know what I mean? Ain't no goddamn kitchen. Yeah. How the washing their hands and shit. I'm starting to think about all kind of shit. You know, thinking the same thing. I'm like, I'm there, you know, my damn fucking bladder about to bust and shit. I gotta piss, and I'm like, is there a bathroom? And they're like, oh no. You have to wait till you go back to the hotel. What? My shit about to explode over here. You know, goddamn, ain't a tree or no shit. Right. You know, so I'm like, oh, this is real up there right here. Yeah. And so the other thing that was crazy was, you ever been on somebody's house and they got roaches and shit? And you see the crawling all over the goddamn place, and you look at him, you feel like, am I the only mother that see roaches and shit? Ain't nobody reacting to right? Yeah. But you like, God, yeah. They used to they super. So yeah, they got a spread and shit, salad and all this other shit. Yeah. You know, and I'm looking at all these roaches and shit, and they crawling all over shit, man. I'm like, what the what? Everybody trying to kill these right. Man. It's just like they don't took on his shoulders. Yeah. I'm like, ain't no way I'm finna eat some shit off in this. You know, the same way. I don't know if that's a raisin or one of them damn roaches. Yeah. And his homies off of that shit. Anything, you know. Right. And then, then they went outside and they were them cooking some damn chicken or some shit in a pot. And they was like, oh, you know, this shit is good. And I looked at the pot, man, that shit looked like it was tar. I was some black shit with some chicken off in there. I was like, ain't no way in the I'm gonna eat none of this shit. I tell you. So now I'm thinking of all kind of creative lies and shit. Yeah. You know, that I could tell, so I don't have to eat this shit. I didn't even want to drink the coffee. That being on the coffee. I was like, but you know, I have hypertension, and since that coffee got such strong caffeine in it, you know, it's gonna my heart up. I can't drink a little. And that, you know, that kind of got me out of shit. They said, well, can't eat. I said, well, I have a stomach problem, you know. I can't eat certain things, you know, because if I do, you know, oh man, it ain't good for me. So I was telling all these lies because, man, all these goddamn roaches and shit I seen. Yeah. No bathroom, nowhere to wash your goddamn hands, you know. And they some ass ticklers over there too, right? You know what that is. See, like in the Middle East and shit, they ain't really. Oh, what is that? Ass tickler. It's like, okay, so these have toilet paper, right? Oh. So they get a bottle of water and shit, and these motherfuckers take water and run it down their back, and they tickle their ass with their left hand. Oh. That's why they don't shake your hand with the left hand, because, you know, that's a dirty hand. Oh, that's a shitty deal right there. You disrespect them, throw that left hand out there. You gonna give me the shitty hand? Oh. But that's what they do. They, you know, so over there they do the same shit, man. Yeah, like they got a roll of toilet paper. Oh no, now you in there making the salad and shit. Oh man. And you an ass tickler? How the that work? No. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. So, you know, I mean, shit. You know, you had to eat at the hotel. You know what I mean? And then when you went out to eat, you had to be careful about that shit too. You get some ice off in your drink and shit. Yeah. Around, bro, you know, your whole trip be fucked up. Because you can't go far. I don't know, man, if you ever had one of them situations where, you know, your shit get fucked up. You can't move, dog. You know, you don't want to be in a situation, you're on the street walking and shit. You know, then all of a sudden, bam. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know, like, you in that situation, it's just fucked up. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be in that situation. So that was one of the reasons I really eat over there like that, you know. But I went there so many different times, man, you know, to, you know, get my son straightened out. So that's why I have so much history with being in Ethiopia. That, you know. It's a beautiful country with some beautiful people, supermodels and all that kind of shit over there.
Yeah.
That's for real. That's for real.
Yeah.
But, coming back to Kuwait, meeting my second wife. Now, since I've been married to her, I've not been back either for the very same goddamn reasons. Shit, I try to be over there lying to her family, especially they got roaches and shit. Oh, it's gonna be some shit. As she's so sensitive about their cultures. They all time talking about their damn cultures. Fuck, get some toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? Some like his ass. But, shit. We living life,
Yeah.
in Kuwait, and I'm working every day, and she doing shit. You know what I'm saying? She was working and all that kind of shit. And the only thing I didn't like about Kuwait is them Arabs, man. Like I say, not only are they, ass ticklers and shit like that, but, they want to tickle your ass, And the other ones that ain't like that, they want to tickle your wife ass. So, they don't really treat other people that's not American with the same level of respect they do us. You know what I'm saying? They had like a little sense of fear of us because we didn't take their shit off of us. A lot of dudes got, sent home because they end up on that blotter report or whooping somebody's ass over there. Because they wild, man. They do some wild shit. They do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Really. I remember that first 6 months, man, I got caught up in some shit. So I took a sick day because I was like, I'm tired of this, I took a sick day. So I get a taxi. Somebody told me, hey, man, you could take a sick day, take a taxi, go to Johnny Rockets, McDonald's, all this. I didn't even know this shit exists. Salmia, oh, shit. They got a Mickey D's on this Yeah, man, Pizza Hut, all this shit. Even the Kentucky Fried. I'm like, what? Shit, let me go get Big Mac and shit. See if the shit real.
Yeah.
So I'm riding the damn taxi. We stop at the Mickey D's. And two Kuwait young motherfuckers, which I ain't think they spoke English, they started blowing their damn horn at the taxi. I get out of the taxi pulls off. They still blowing their horn. I'm like, what the I turn around and do this, and on the passenger side with the window down, he leaned out the window, he say, this ain't no parking lot. I was like, God damn. These can speak some English?
Yeah.
I said, what? He said, this ain't no parking lot. I said, you speak English? He said, yeah. I said, what? I said, okay, I'm finna cuss this out. I'm finna put some English on your ass. So I'm walking over to the car. I ain't got no kind of plan. I ain't thinking about shit. But he's sitting in the car leaning and shit like he hard. And he just looked like a big ass bullseye. Just the head looked like, like somebody's head just swell up like that. If it's a big ass target.
Yeah.
When I got to the car, that's what his head looked like. And I said, what you say? He said, this ain't, and that's all he got out. I drilled that. That. He went sideways and shit. It cut him, you know what I mean? Blood started coming out. The other dude, he started going off in Arabic. I thought he was coming out to charge. Right, so I'm squaring up and shit because I think it's been
Yeah, damn.
But this calling for help. I said, oh shit. So I took off running and shit, hitting the parking lot. You know what I mean? And called the damn taxi that dropped me off. He came back, picked me up and everything. But that's kind of shit that will be happening in Kuwait on a daily. Different interactions. Because now you living like, you're trying to live some kind of life of normality.
Right.
Right? And so when you do that, you get sometimes caught up in these different situations. And so, when I got married to my wife, the second one, shit like that would happen. With Kuwait, mostly the police. You had to flex on them. You really did. Because if you didn't, they might, we don't know what might happen. But it was like that. So, life goes on. We got 2 kids over there. We're living life. I'm working every day, planning for the future, which wasn't going to be coming back over to this. Damn sure wasn't going to be living in Ethiopia. So I was thinking, where the I go that it's going to be, where we can live, grow up, and raise the kids, and just, live good.
Right.
So that was either South America or Asia, Thailand. Philippines too nasty. Yeah, them nasty over there too. And Filipinos, the only thing different between them and Thai people is they speak a little English, so it's easy to communicate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But everything with them is sir, and then they got P word. They can't say everything is puck, because Filipino want
Right.
puck you.
Yeah.
He said, what?
Yeah.
Pucking bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
You.
Yeah. His type of Filipinos work for my comedies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. They sing and shit all the time. Hi, sir. They love some karaoke.
Yeah.
But, shit.
Yeah.
That was the thing, man. Okay, what we gonna do next? And I f***ed around, and got into a situation where I strained my shoulder and did some shit. So
Yeah.
that was 2019. And we came home, to get this shit checked out and worked on.
Yeah.
The doctors and shit in Kuwait was like, you gotta have a little surgery, man, to fix that shit. So, and they wasn't having that shit over there. We couldn't, some surgeries you could have, but a lot of shit you couldn't do. So that's how we ended up coming back over this way. And by that time, I think my supervisor at that time, his name was Johnny Hudson. And he told me, he said, man, because I was thinking, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it back or not. I got to start thinking about, a house. That was like in 2016.
Yeah.
And so he told me about Will, and that's how I got hooked up with my crib. But I wasn't living here. We were still living over there. So that 2019, because of my man Will, we had housing in a good neighborhood, safe,
Yep.
all that kind of shit. Will was hooking brothers up.
Yeah.
He was doing the damn thing, man.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people had trust and faith and belief in him. All the shit that happened with my crib, Will did that with my mom. I was overseas and shit.
What happened with your crib?
Huh?
What happened with your crib?
My girl?
Your crib.
My crib. Oh, yeah, he hooked me up, man. He got everything squared, So when I came home in 2019, because of that shit with the shoulder, we were straight.
Yeah.
We weren't having to go through no, oh shit, what the where we gonna live, I damn sure wasn't trying to live with Pox. That nigga crazy, you know what I'm saying? Talk too much shit.
Yeah.
So we were straight, and turned out that, the shoulder, they couldn't do the repair or whatever, and then they got like a requirement to get the work visa, an age requirement. Once you hit like 61, I believe, they won't issue you a work visa without a waiver. And a company, if they want you to work for them, they got to pay that extra tax to bring you over there.
Yeah.
Do that shit. And then if they do that with you, then they got to justify other trying to get back over there to do that.
Right.
Contract.
Right.
If you there, you get grandfathered in. So you be old as in the thousand. As long as you don't, leave the country like permanently or whatever, you good.
Yeah, good.
So, life rocked on. We had 2 kids and shit, 2 beautiful kids. We came back because of that shit with the shoulder. We had another baby, which was my baby, Britannia. And, we just started kind of like working shit out, and figuring out how we was going to live and shit, And that's pretty much what we've been at.
Gotcha.
Just trying to rock steady. But man, I'm gonna tell you, meeting them women overseas and shit, marrying a foreign woman, that shit right there is crazy, bro. It's crazy.
What's crazy about it?
You gotta have your mind right, because they got certain cultural shit that they do, and you don't be aware of that shit until you really get deep off into the culture. But they don't put that shit on Front Street with you at first.
Right.
And what I found out really, if you with an African woman, you with a sister. In Thailand they got a saying, same, but different. Black women don't where you go. Same.
Yeah.
But just military, right? They all the headache. I'll tell any mother straight up. If I had a
What's the headache you say? Because
it's just different.
I've been in a relationship with an African woman before too. So
it's different.
I never been married, but been in a relationship with one. So like, what would you say the headache?
So like, it depends on where she from, right? So like, if you got a Nigerian or a Congolese,
Yeah, no,
they gonna be
my girlfriend was Liberian.
Liberia. Oh, well, that's
From
sort of like,
Coast.
okay, that's sort of like, they kind of sort of like Americanized. Come on, they speak English and all that shit over there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now you around and get a Nigerian,
Mm-hmm.
man, it's different, man.
Yeah, I know some Nigerians too.
Yeah, man. They, first of all, they ain't no little bitty women, right?
Yeah.
They be diesel a lot of, and they get thick as mother glasses too. And they talk a lot of shit. They like to run shit. They got a deep ass voice and shit, You want to make sure, she ain't got on. Bigger than yours, Hey, my brother. Come here. What the you tonight? You don't pay. Like, can you get some of that bass out your shit? Man, my man here, this shit. That shit don't feel right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But now with the Ethiopians, they got that. That's their shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh man. And they some jealous motherfucker. And with good reason. Because if you go there, like the ones you meet outside of Ethiopia, you're kind of getting the average. When you go to Ethiopia, woo, that's when you see some starters, bro. And you understand why they act that way. Cause your shit is all your shit is always on the line. Cause it's another bitch out there way better than you every day, all day, and they trying to get your nigga. Especially if your nigga seem like he got a little paper, he a nigga that's gonna provide and take care. They'll take your nigga now. You know what I'm saying? Cause they like that. And then the numbers, man. Just like the whole world, man. Men are out now.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So in general, usually no matter where you go, it's gonna be 5-1. You know what I'm saying? And the Ethiopian dudes, man, when I was over there, the motherfucker asked me, "You never touch another woman?" I'm like, how the you supposed to answer this shit? I ain't finna tell you shit. You that around, tell my wife from shit, Cause they be hating on us too.
When you say though, they'll take another woman's, they man,
Yo,
how the man provided protect. Well, what made you say that with the Ethiopian woman?
Cause they fine as hell and they outnumber the men. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like they all trying to get that nigga, that good nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if you got a good nigga and she feel like her game was tighter than yours, your shit might be a risk. And they know that shit.
Yeah.
They know that shit. It's just like that. You know what I'm saying? Now they ain't got a side way like them Asian.
Yeah.
But they got a little something that, work with. You got to teach African women a lot of shit too. Now, these new African women, they pretty much up on everything. But like my wife, generations before that, you got to teach them everything. You got to teach them how to suck, all this kind of shit. You do, man, because they don't know that shit. Yeah. You ask her to suck your, my wife do it like the first time. She think you disrespecting her some kind of way. Like, what you mean suck your, put your lips on the mother, give me a little lick and shit. What? Get this, it's some shit. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit go. So it's just, man, be foreign women, man, you just run into so many nuances and shit that you got to be aware of before you marry their ass, man, because I'm going to tell you, man, it's just some shit you need to be aware of.
Well, my question would be for you, you got a lot of men, now I don't know if you heard of your passport bros. And like literally a lot of them guys that live in America, they say, you know what, we going overseas to find our women and find our girlfriends, wives or what have you, versus here in America. I mean, what would you say to that? You know what I mean?
Shit, I agree with that shit. Imagine this shit. Okay, so you got like, say, Filipino, Asian woman, right? You come in from work, man, they won't even let a nigga sit down. They on your ass when you walk through the door, right? They got the hot food and shit.
Yeah.
They giving you a pedicure and goddamn, manicure and all that shit.
Yeah.
Massaging your shit. Yeah. You ask them, they Johnny on the spot. Ask an American woman, hey, babe, can you tie my toes up? Nigga, please. Wrong with you?
That you crazy.
Wrong with you, kid? The fuck you think? Oh yeah, you gotta take your ass up the street to the nail salon, nigga. You know that's what you're gonna get. All that neck rolling and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So, man, once you be on, dealt with some women outside of the ones that are here, you ain't having to deal with all this shit. You like, shit. Well, but fuck, I can get 10 that will do all this shit with none of these neck rolling and all that, the cussing me out of shit.
Yeah.
Worried about a bitch calling you in the middle of the night, that Al Green shit, high grits and shit. You know what I mean? Because they'll do that shit to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit, I know my mama scored the out my dad.
Oh, man.
They will watch the call. She said, okay, got something for that ass and a hot pot of fun. Well, that's how they built over here. You know what I mean? But over there, they ain't really gonna you up like that. You know what I'm saying? And so you get spoiled because you get all of this attention and you get all of this catering and they attach it to their self-worth. You being happy and them having you is a status thing for them. I got a good man. I got a man. Like it's still sort of like that over there in them countries. Over here, they like on this, you, I don't need a man. All of them running around trying to eat your shit now. What's kind of shit going on over here? You know what I'm saying?
Independent.
And they tearing their shit up with all these kind of up ass toys that just destroy good, right? And they're tearing their shit up, right? Making you feel bad. Oh, you come some down for now. What about, you just a big having ass. You know what I mean? Your shit raggedy. It ain't really you. It's somebody that tore they shit up. They doing too much. But over there, they ain't really doing all of that like that. So you get, a lot more pristine type of situations.
Gotcha.
And you can kind of like, groom them, to be what you need. You can't do that shit over here. Not now. It's crazy and shit. Look, I'm not walking around with psychedelic ass shit. You know what the going on.
All right. So my last question would be for you right now, Dwight, in terms of the relationship side, anything you want to add, you welcome to do it.
Yeah.
What do you think about 50-50 in relationships versus 100%? In terms of husband and wife or what have you, 50-50 in a relationship versus the man or 100%. Because that's been a topic that's been on the internet for these last maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
A lot of controversy amongst men and women, especially in America.
Yeah.
I don't know how they feel overseas when it comes to that. What are your thoughts on like the man and women going 50-50 on bills,
Right,
versus the man just saying, I got 100% of the bills?
Hey man, overseas it's flip a tee on me. That's how that shit go.
Okay.
Everything gonna be on your ass, right? And even their family, you gonna be toting their ass too. You know what I'm saying? People be like, hey, going on.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for this shit. So over there, it's primarily gonna be you being the provider. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And especially if you are an American or anybody from another country, right? And resourced, rich, so to speak. You got money to do certain things. They're gonna expect for you to do, these extra things because in a lot of the places they don't have a social network. So when they people get old and all that kind of shit, they don't get Social Security.
Yeah.
They don't get food stamps. They get hungry. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got it. You ain't got it.
Right.
So that's what makes it kind of like different in terms of how they move. They expect for the people who or person that has come into their family, especially if you're a foreigner, these think that we just rich. We got it. I don't give a who you can be pulling lint out your pocket. You thinking the motherfucker, we know you got it. You know what I'm saying? Now we need some motherfucker up in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Send that check, that type of shit. Now over here, I kind of feel like, you got, man, look, living over here and the way, this market economy or whatever, how shit is structured over here and how expensive things have gotten. It ain't like back in the day, the 40s and the 50s and shit, where one income could do it.
Right.
That ain't how the shit work, man. You got that. If your ass don't want to be over there and call the homes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Unless you just a star, you just that dude, that could generate income. What you creative, you come up with all kinds of ways of making money, right? It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard. A one house, whole income. That shit went out with goddamn the V.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like that. So, it's gotta be kind of 50-50. You gotta pull your weight. I always say a boat with one oar goes in a circle. It don't go nowhere. You gotta have two oars to go in a straight line to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So if you not, nigga, you going to work. I told my wife when you come over here and shit, don't be thinking you gonna park that ass and no, it ain't no. You got to go to my world. Gotta go get a check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Brain, you gotta go get some goddamn groceries and shit. Your money is my money, like my money is your money. That's how that shit have to be. Cause a lot of times over here, your money is they money. But they money is they money.
Yeah.
And they hide shit, down shit, and all this kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? And then just use up all your shit. And then when you ain't got shit, you broke ass nigga, what the
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cause you know what I'm saying? I'm just dragging your ass, man.
What you talking about?
You feel me?
Yeah.
Imagine a nigga trying to go up a ladder, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to go up a ladder and shit, and then you got a on your back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's gonna be difficult to go up that motherfucking ladder, right? Cause you pulling all your
Yeah, they pulling you down.
and you trying to pull their weight up. Nah, gotta go to work.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't give a gotta come some cheese, something.
Yeah.
No, this shit ain't. You bring your ass to the table. That's it. I don't know. Unless you out there slinging ass, I don't know to the bill pay for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We up in this fight. We still got to eat. Still got to keep lights on and shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't take your into the light company and say, hey, look, can I put some on this right here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
That's it. So it's 50-50, man. We gotta help each other. And I ain't about toting. I ain't about toting no that.
So tell me this, Dwight, what you have going on right now when it comes to career-wise. You can talk a little bit as well what your wife got going on, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so, came back 2019 and, started trying to get everything together. I had a little injury that I was trying to work through. So I ended up going on and retiring. But when I retired, I didn't just go into retirement. We decided, we got 3 kids. We got to still grind. We got to make it happen for them. I got an 8-year-old. I got a soon-to-be 7-year-old in October. So I got an 8, 6, and 4-year-old.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's 20-year investment with your children, right? So you still got to grind. So we started a company called OCD Lawn Service. And basically that's what we do right now is we do lawn service in terms of like lawn maintenance. We don't get too heavy like hardscape and stuff like that. But we do softscape. We do cleanups. We do trees, bushes, various little things related to lawn maintenance. And my wife is a beast, man. I mean, she came into that not knowing shit. But she can run the hell out of a weed eater, man. I be talking shit to my 17-year-old, right? Yeah. I'm like, man, how the let your stepmama bust your ass like that? She just take over, man. She just doing it, man. I'm like, God damn. She a real beast at it. But she told me, hey, she need to change gears and do some other stuff. And so she's branched out and now she does African braiding.
Okay.
So she does, like so many various styles of braiding.
Yeah.
I don't really know nothing about that shit. I don't braid hair.
Yeah.
I mean, she off the chain with it, man.
Okay.
She really is off the chain. She's fully coming to her own. She grinding, she making money, she helping pay the bills and stuff, which we need, taking care of our family.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, she a damn good woman. And I'm blessed to have her. And so, that's kind of like what we got going on right now. We got the lawn service, and we got the, African braiding with her. She's working out of a shop called Divine African Braiding.
Okay.
And they're located off of I think that's Flat Shoals, across from Kroger's strip mall right there.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you need your shit twisted up nice you know what I'm saying? You want to look like you came from motherland and your shit tight like that, you to holler them, Divine African Braiding.
There you go.
And if you need your shit tightened up, your shit looking a little scruffy, a little raggedy, whatever, hey, OCD Lawn Service, we touch down, hey, we wear that crown. We gonna make it do what it do.
There you go.
That's what we're gonna do, and you're gonna be very, very satisfied with the end result.
Love it.
Because, that's what we do.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, where can they find you?
Man, you can find us on
you.
Okay, so we're on this platform called Nextdoor. We're on there. You can see reviews that we have, which are great. Another way you can reach us, you can reach out to us, give us a call. The number is 470-633-8677. My wife is the person that'll probably more than likely be answering that phone call. She is actually the customer service / general manager. So technically, I work for her. And she worked me like a Hebrew slave. Believe that shit. There you go. That's real talk for your ass.
There you go. Well, definitely, it was a great conversation, Dwight.
Yeah, man.
Thank you again for coming on the Rise and Work Show and
the opportunity to share, I really do.
Absolutely. It's been a fascinating and a great conversation at the same time, man. That was a great time as well at the same time, man. Definitely got to bring you back. And definitely, if you're checking in on this episode and you love this episode, you love the Dwight story, you love this journey, right? As well as you got something out this episode. But not only that, you had a good time. You had some fun, right? You had some laughter as well listening to Dwight. Definitely make sure you hit that like button on this episode. Hit that like button on YouTube. Also, if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell. Also, drop any comments below, right? If you got anything out of the Dwight story, his journey, or you just had, like I said, a great time here, right? You actually had some fun listening to this episode as well. Drop your comments. We'd love to hear your comments in the comment section. As well as if you get your podcast here on YouTube, that's great. But we also on Apple and Spotify, The Rise of the 1%. And feel free to share this around with anyone else you feel can benefit from this episode. With that said, we'll see you next time. Have a great one. On purpose.
On me.
There you go. Hey there, this is Gerald Bass, G Bass, with the Rise of 1% podcast. Just wrapped up a phenomenal episode of the Rise of 1% podcast. And listen, here, everyone has a story. And I know you have a story. And then you have a story, and you want to share your story. You want to share your journey. You want to share things that you currently got going on right now. Get your message out to the masses of people. Definitely love to have you here on the Rise of the 1% podcast. Being you would love to be one of our guests or one of our next guests on the Rise of the 1% podcast, definitely email us at support@riseofthe1%.com. Again, email us at support@riseofthe1%.com. Just leave your information. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your story, a little bit about your journey, what you have going on. And we definitely love to have a conversation about you being a guest on one of our upcoming episodes of the Rise of the 1% podcast. But that said, this is G Bass with the Rise of the 1%. Have a phenomenal one on purpose.